Hi, this is Sal Tuzzolino, host and ringmaster of the Sports Circus, the big top of sports talk radio. Did you hear this?
We used to play back east, and they'd say, "Where are you guys from?" And they say, "Where is Oakland?" So we'd have to tell them where Oakland was. Then they'd say, "Well, are you professionals?" They'd have to say, "Well, we think so."
Right. Clown around with us and stream the show online at thesportcircus.com. Join me, the Human Cannonball, and Sideshow Bob, along with a special guest this Saturday morning at 6 on Fox Sports Radio 1340. Hello and welcome back to the Sports Circus here at WCOBM. You can catch the Sports Circus tomorrow on Fox Sports Radio 1340 here in the Las Vegas market, or you can stream it live at thesportcircus.com. And today I am known as Sal the Bookmaker on the Friday edition of the Sports Circus, and tomorrow I will be your ringmaster, which I still am the ringmaster, but it's a different venue. We have a different audience. We have a little bit of a different format. It's not news-based. It's more community-driven. It's a fun show. We get everybody involved from ages 14 to 65, men, women, boys, and girls. So when we start the show, it's ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Sports Circus, whereas today it's like, welcome to the Sports Circus. All right, so this segment is brought to you by Seattle Dan's Pizza, Pasta, and Grinders, located at 5115 West Sahara at Durango in the Smart and Final Business Plaza. And call in your order for lunch or for dinner at 702-946-6262. Call in your dinner order, your lunch order, and talk to Dan. Dan's a great guy. Tell him the Sports Circus sent you. You'll get 10% off all your orders. Great guy. Dan's a wonderful guy, and his food's really good too. Stop by. You won't be sorry. It's good stuff. So we left off talking about the Chicago Bulls, Rajon Rondo, and some trade moves that could happen because the trade deadline is coming, and that's just about 4 weeks away. And so sticking with the Bulls, we also have a question of whether Nikola Mirotic is going to get traded, because this is a really cool player, because here you've got a young guy. He's 6'10". He's a classic European player, inside-outside game. The guy can play the low block. You could post him high. You could post him anywhere on the block. You can post him. But more importantly, this guy can shoot threes, just like the Dirk Nowitzkis. He's the classic European player that is basically a good all-around player, and he's got some defense too. So the Bulls are considering a trade with him only because he's shooting about 31% from three-point line. They want him to shoot about 40%, and I think it's really just more smoke and mirrors right now. I can't really see that the Bulls would make that deal because, frankly, with that guy down low and with Lopez down low, the Bulls have a pretty good presence right on a low block underneath that basket, and I don't really think that they're going to make a move there. If they do make a move, I would be very surprised, and I think that they would sell themselves a little short up front. So if the Bulls do make a move to get a guy like Carmelo Anthony, basically the Bulls can make a deal for Tyson Chandler from Phoenix as well. We'll get into that in a second. But the problem is there's 5 slots on the floor. You've got 2 that are solid, a third that is fairly solid. You've got only so much money to work with from a salary cap standpoint, but more importantly, you got to have enough ball to give to all the stars. Because let's face it, if you've got 5 stars on the floor, they all need the ball. They all want the ball. That's what they're being paid for. So unfortunately, you can't really put 5 superstars on the floor, and you may see that in the All-Star games that are played every year, that there's just not enough ball to go around. And, of course, the scores are really, really high. As I digress again, the scores are really high because everybody has to score, and they have to pad the score sheet. That's the reason the scores are so high in the NBA All-Star games, because everybody needs to get their double-digit points, 20 points, whatever the hell it is. And you got 15 guys on the team, so now you get 300 points in a game. Anyway, bottom line is the Bulls probably will not trade Mirotic. At 6'10", he's averaging about 10 points a game. I don't think it would really be a wise move, but then again, I'm not the general manager. I have nothing to do with it. I am Sal the Bookmaker. So I could tell you which way you may want to consider making a bet, which I'm at 81% for the year, despite I went 75% last week with the NFC and AFC championship games. The fact is, and that was including over and unders, the fact is you have educated guesses, you have statistical probabilities, you have a lot of pieces of the puzzle that have to be put together to find the right fit to contend against a Cleveland, which the Bulls actually can beat Cleveland. They beat them 4 out of the last 6 games. But they've got to be able to beat them in a 7-game set consecutively, which is very tough to do for any team in the NBA. We saw what happened with Golden State. We saw a golden collapse in the NBA Finals last June when they had a 3-1 lead over Cleveland, and, well, they fell apart conveniently in the last game. That's another story. So, back to the trade talks. The Phoenix Suns, I know they've got 4 guys right now that they're considered trading. And one of them, in my opinion, probably the most prolific piece, I guess the biggest piece of the puzzle, is it's always a big man. It's always the center. It's always the big power forward, the guy that can pull the rebounds and really make a difference out there and make life miserable for the other team underneath the basket. So Tyson Chandler right now, although he's 34 years old, he is on the trade block. I think he can add maybe 2 years of good value, really good value, on a team that really needs help down low. Jared Dudley, not so much. Brandon Knight, there's been a lot of talk about him and PJ Tucker, but I don't believe that those swingmen and guards, I mean, yeah, a good point guard is always needed anywhere in the NBA, just like a baseball left-handed pitcher. But the fact is, the prime piece that Phoenix has to trade, in my opinion, is Tyson Chandler. Look for Chandler to get moved at the deadline. And also you've got the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic, they said that they're going to be very aggressive. Their general manager said, we're going to look at everything. We're going to listen to everybody. And I think the biggest pieces they have a few of them, I think, that are really noteworthy. And the first one is DJ Augustine. I think that every team in the league can use a guy like him, and even a power forward like Serge Ibaka. So Ibaka's got a lot of experience. Previously, he was with Oklahoma City, and this is a guy that is an impact player from day one. Ibaka would be a great addition to just about any team, averaging about a double-double like most of the league. But the guy's consistent. He stays healthy relatively. And Orlando, let's face it, they said anything goes. Let's go ahead and bring in whatever we can. And Orlando's really not looking for anything other than they're looking to shed some salary, get some pieces to rebuild. I think, frankly, Orlando is one of those teams that very well could make the move once the Vegas Raiders are officially announced as the team here, which is basically a done deal. But I think there's 4 teams in the NBA that would consider relocating here to Las Vegas. First and foremost would be the LA Clippers. They are the number 3 tenant in the Staples Center, the Kings being the first, Lakers being the second, and Steve Ballmer's Clippers being the third. Now, he doesn't want to be a tenant in anyone's building, so look for Ballmer to make a play right after the Raiders are announced. Adam Silver already said he wants a team in the NBA here in Las Vegas. Watch and see if the Clippers don't make a big run at coming here. Now, if it's not the Clippers, I'd be surprised, because the Clippers, let's face it, Ballmer can buy anything. So look for him to buy the T-Mobile Arena and the Las Vegas, or the Vegas Golden, actually no, they're the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The name's too long. The Vegas Knights, we'll call them that. They would become a tenant for Steve Ballmer right here on the Strip in Las Vegas, and I could see that the Clippers would likely move there because the traffic from Southern California to Las Vegas every week swells our population from 2 to 500,000 every weekend. So imagine if you have now a team supported by the Southern California people in Southern California coming out here to Las Vegas. They will have no problem selling out. The NBA does very, very well here anyway, but you have a built-in audience from Southern California. Hell, they're even carried on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2, whatever, here on the local television market. We already get the Clipper games, so it's really a natural fit. But the other teams that could come here, I would look for the Milwaukee Bucks, a third-level team. They've been waffling about, thinking about ideas to, do we expand our roster? Do we spend more money and try to bring in the fan base? The problem is they're in the same television market, basically, as the Chicago Bulls. And we already know how that one goes. The Bulls get all the people, even the people from Wisconsin. They don't want to watch the Bucks. They want to watch the Bulls. They want to relive the Michael Jordan years, and now they've got Jimmy Butler to save the day there with Dwayne Wade. So we'll see what happens with the Milwaukee Bucks. 2 other teams that are floundering about, the New Orleans Pelicans. Now remember, they had the New Orleans Jazz. They already lost the Jazz many, many years ago. So there's a possibility that the Pelicans, a pelican in a desert, that's really weird, but the Pelicans could make a move here. And the last team, in my opinion, is Michael Jordan's Charlotte Bobcats. Because let's face it, this is a team that's really not drawing. Jordan loves Vegas. We already know that. But I think that any one of those 4 teams would be a good fit. There are teams that are better. The Clippers first, and I think the Bucks probably second. Other than that, we'll see you in just a minute.